by Star Child. To finish up our panel of speakers and to take us into our next activity, I am presenting you with George Gaboury. I'm massacring his name, but I call him O George. One of my favorite people that I've met through organizing this. George is with the Thrive Alliance, and here's George.
We all hope you'll all go to thrivemovement.com. Take a look on there. They've got a critical mass action page under what you can do. You can sign up for, hey, I want to be part of the movement to end the Fed, or reform the Fed, or audit the Fed, or do something about GMOs, or all this other stuff. But Thrive Alliance itself is a local synergy of organizations like Golden Gate Liberty, San Francisco Tesla Society, California Citizens for Health Freedom, and others that believe in the Thrive idea that nobody gets to violate anyone else except in self-defense. That's the basic principle. You can find out more by going there. Our other websites, sftesla.org, citizenshealth.org, gtlr.info. So let's talk about the Federal Reserve. Now, Catherine and I want to really thank Catherine Knowles because she put together the Fedmas carols that you've all been hearing sing. Let's give it up for Catherine for all the work on the great lyrics and stuff. And all the other speakers who've been here, John Dennis, Sean Ackley, Jane Smith, Child. Cindy Sheehan wanted to be here. She really wanted to be here. Let's give her a prayer because she got ill last night and she's recovering. And we wish her well and her family. And we're going to be doing this for the next year, all sorts of stuff. This is something, you know, it took 100 years to build this monster called the Jekyll from the creature from Jekyll Island. And it's going to take a while to dismantle it. But together we can do it. This is the beginning. This is a real good beginning here and in New York and in all the other cities where people are acting and they're saying, end the Fed, reform the Fed, illuminate the Fed. We're fed up. Fed up yours. That's what it's all about. Okay, so what are these guys? Let's sum it up. They are Robin Hood in reverse. They steal from the poor and they give to the rich. They don't want you to understand their scam. So what is it? The Federal Reserve System is the bankster's secret engine of fraud, used by the morally bankrupt 1% that has made us the struggling 99%. Their booby-trapped financial system has made Uncle Sam a pusher for a crack autonomy with endless boom-bust mood swings, terrorist wars without end, and deadly unemployment withdrawal pain manipulated for their profit. The Fed banks, the Fed fraudsters create funny money out of nothing through fractional reserve banking, that's the fancy name, and fiat currency. We have an economy right now that is fiat with fractional reserve underneath fiat. It's the worst hellhole for an economy you can have. And it's debt-based, as they told you. Purchasing power explodes into the new funny money for the first person who gets it and uses it. After that, the new funny money slowly sucks trading value out of all the other money that it touches through subsequent transactions. When they create new fiat money, they inflate the money supply, and that fuels inflation. And get this, the Fed only does a small portion of it. Every time your bank gets money from the Fed, they inflate it 90% with nothing behind it. That's the real fraud.
Fuck 'em.
Government and big corporations willing to worship the banksters get to spend most of the new money first before prices go up for the 99% when we get it. Right? Okay, so the banksters found the fiat money, keeps their engorged CEO cronies, their academic junk economics authorities, their media minions, NSA thought police, their covert war facilitators, and their elected zombie crats towing the banksters' party line to further the fraud and blind the bleeding public from the perpetual theft, turning planet Earth into a new world hoarders junkyard.
Go Joe! Down with the zombie crash!
The Fed banksters' new funny money goes to the economy only for the most part when people borrow it from them. They didn't earn it. They created it out of nothing and you're borrowing it from them. All our funny money is IOU debt money owed to the banksters. It's serfdom with a contract on it. If we pay all our debts back to them, there's no IOU money. Hang on.
Page turn.
Out with the banksters! Arrest the crooks!
There's no IOU money and the economy crashes. That makes us funny money, debt junkies, and the corporatocracy banksters are the power pushers. They accumulate perpetual interest payments from us through taxes and loans that buys them more and more power. It's how we became the 99%. $1 today will buy what 2 cents would buy 100 years ago. Where did it all go? I don't have time to tell you, but it went into wars. Well, we'll go a little bit. The Fed banksters steered it to steal control of the wealth of the world, financing and facilitating and profiting handsomely from 2 world wars, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Iraq wars, etc. They even diverted some of it to help pay for the bullets, the bombs, and the bayonets used by our enemies to kill Americans by the thousands. It helped pay for Holocaust gas, them and their international partners. The banksters, the baddest ones in control, use it to bail themselves out selectively when their reckless, compulsive greed becomes too internally toxic. They manipulated the money supply to squash local banks and take over regional competitors. They use it to build up companies like Monsanto and Blackwater, hijack elections, buy and enslave governments everywhere, outsource jobs, fund slave labor, control mass media, confiscate and ruin natural resources. They use their funny money to force you to pay interest through taxes on their national debt fraud. They used it to scam you into signing mortgage and credit card debt contracts to borrow their funny money. You spend your productive years struggling to pay it back to them with interest from much of your hard-earned money.
Not me!
They used it to wipe out the value of whatever savings you had left after their inflation. Worst of all, they have spent funny money to condition you to believe that all of this is legal and ethical, and it is not. Is it?
No!
Darn right it's not. Let's occupy transparency. Full disclosure means the secret records of the banksters owned privately held Federal Reserve should be revealed to the people and audited openly to reveal the full depth and scope of their thievery.
Yeah!
Yeah!
It's Christmas. You know, 100 years ago, they hijacked Christmas to sell out the country. Most of the congressmen were gone, and the ones that were friendly were there in the Congress on December 23rd. December 27th when it passed in the Congress, the 23rd when it was passed or signed by Wilson. Don't you think we ought to take Christmas back?
Yeah!
All right. In fraud we trust ought to be printed on every Fed dollar bill. The status quo in God we trust is a printed blasphemy on our Fed fraud dollars, which should offend every caring religious person. I don't care if you're Christian or Jew, Muslim or Hindu, whatever. And even an atheist. Let us remember a man who gave his life 5 days after he and his followers turned over the tables of the money changers and threw them out of the temple 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem. That the banksters then had turned into a den of thieves. Oh, how things don't change, do they? What would he want us to do now in his name as we approach another celebration of his birthday 2 days from now?